live on YouTube. It just takes a second. All right, and I believe we are live on YouTube. There we go. And so, good morning, Iris. Would you mind praying us in?
Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, all. And I will pray us in. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I'm content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Iris. Wow, it sounds like you're in a foundry or something.
Yeah, I've got this building. Some people are like doing building. It's always the same around where I live because there's like lots and lots of buildings.
Yeah,
So, like, whenever someone is doing something, which is almost all the time, then I hear all this noise. But I think I'm learning to drown it out completely because you get used to it.
absolutely. I love it. All right, so who wants to read chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness Introduction? We'll start with that. I think we can get it all up on the board.
I'll read it.
Oh, thank you, Rafi.
Healing and wholeness. To heal is to make happy. I have told you to think how many opportunities you have had to gladden yourself and how many you have refused. Not me. This is the same as telling you that you have refused to heal yourself. The light that belongs to you is the light of joy. Yeah, we are joy itself. Radiance is not associated with sorrow. Joy calls forth an integrated willingness to share it and promotes the mind's natural impulse to respond as one. Those who attempt to heal without being wholly joyous themselves call forth different kinds of responses at the same time, and thus deprive others of the joy of responding wholeheartedly. So glad I do this exercise every morning when I get into the pure joy of being, bliss, happiness, the rapture of being, the ecstasy of being, and it reaffirms the value and the power of the reality of our being. It's ooh, and this paragraph covers that.
Here we go. Is that my mic open? Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to accept your whole joyful self. So to heal is to make happy. Uh, you know, he kind of throws it at us. You guys, you've had so many chances to make yourself happy, and yet you choose to be unhappy about things. So, let us look for the joy rather than the sorrow. Iris, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. Thank you, Lynn. And it's true, like Like there's this lesson which everyone really loves, which is let me just get the lesson because I've been doing it quite a bit recently, because like it's very very helpful, and it says like it's just really wonderful to read it and even practice it, like lesson 90. And it's a review lesson of let me recognize the problem so that it can be solved, and let me recognize my problems have been solved. And it says here that let me realize today that the problem is always some form of grievance that I would cherish. And let me understand that the solution is always a miracle, with which I let the grievance be replaced. And this is so true, because like it's I had quite a few different situations in the last couple of weeks that just were like just work situations that literally they cause me just confusion. And I know, like, when I'm practicing this, like, even if I don't think I can forgive, I'm still willing to forgive. And I just would feel better when I do this, you know, like whatever it is, when we are willing to see this differently, when I'm willing to forgive and see things differently, I feel better. Like I do feel better. And where in this paragraph it says that it says here that those who attempt to heal without being wholly joyous themselves call forth different kind of responses at the same time. So this kind of is really true, because when there's a grievance, like unnoticed, in my mind, uh, like the way that I'm viewing things, like not just that, but everything else is just not from a clear perspective. And I find that when I sit and I just practice this lesson for a few minutes, like my just like my sight clears up, and then I'm able to respond differently. And because I'm seeing things differently, and that's the same thing like releasing. It's exactly like the same idea. And it really makes a lot of sense to me. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Yeah, exactly, Iris. And you know, it's like I always have to look back at today's lesson and the theme of special relevance, where Jesus is talking to us about, you know, these ideas. You know, first you'll think about them and you'll try. You'll just have to keep trying and trying. Sooner or later, it becomes easier and easier, and you know but it's never, it just doesn't happen. You just don't get it. You really have to let go of the thoughts that are holding you back from this peace, this joy. And so Jesus can talk to us about being wholehearted, which I think is just a lovely way of looking at our ourselves and our responsibility. Rafi, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just reminded of something Lester Levinson said in one of his talks. He said, if you're feeling unhappy, if you're feeling, miserable or unhappy, he said, just decide to be the happiness that you are. Happiness doesn't go away. Where is it? It's here right now. So all you have to do is decide, oh, I'm going to be what I really am. Well, what am I really? I'm joy, I'm bliss, I'm happiness. Just be that. And he said, you'd be amazed how quickly that happens. It's just a decision to be what you are instead of what you, well, all the crap he didn't say those words, but all the crap your mind is going through. You could just shut it down and be in touch with the truth of our infinite bliss. And when I read that, I thought, wow, is that how do you? So I tried it, and by golly, it sure worked. So I do it all the time now, and so I'm pretty much constantly in touch with the peace, the happiness I am, and that's the same as peace, and that's the same as love. There's no different categories; it's all one, and and I and the more I do it, the simpler it gets. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. And it's the whole idea of choice and decision. Choice and decision. So whatever it is I think I'm doing, uh, I'm the one who's choosing what it is I'm experiencing. So does anybody else have anything on this paragraph? I'm trying not to trip over a cord here. uh, it goes honestly so beautifully with today's lesson too. Mickey, yeah, please go ahead, hon.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. You know, I can choose to heal and make happy. Now, like I was talking about last Thursday, sometimes if you get sucked into a deep dark pit of hell in your mind and you're, you know, confronting a wall of depression, sometimes it's hard to make yourself happy. But we also have to understand that that's a choice we're making and that we can at least be willing to elect to make a different choice. And I think that's what, part of what got me out of it. I was willing to make a different choice, but then a miracle happened and somebody said the right thing and bam, everything changed. So we just have to be willing to listen to Holy Spirit, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And bang, although it doesn't happen bang, right? It happens boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm bringing up today's lesson to look at real quickly here, because this is the decision not to be insane, as he tells us in our other lesson. So loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all, and suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth, at first to be but said, and then repeated many times, maybe over years and years and years, and next to be accepted, as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered more and more and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and I would go beyond these words today and past all reservations and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. And that's it. We will say it, we'll think it, we'll try it, we'll work on it, and then just maybe all of a sudden you'll like, okay, I can't I am upset for the reason I am upset for the reason the ego wants. I'm not upset for the reason I think at all. And it's putting our faith in the Holy Spirit that is within us. It is what we are to help us to change those thoughts. Anybody have anything? Let me see. I can't see if there's hands up. Is there any hands up? If there is, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah. There are 9 questions releasing, and question number 9 addresses this perfectly. Could I let go of being so smart and allow it to be other than I think it is? And just say yes. Could I let go of being so smart and allow it to be other than I think it is? Yes. And all of a sudden, there's no doubt about who's in charge here. The mind is no longer in charge. You guys put it as, can I see this? Can I just allow myself to see this in a different way? It's pretty much the same way. You're taking charge of the situation instead of letting that victim mentality ego run things. Who's the boss here? Okay, could I let go of being so smart and allow it to be other than I think it is? Yes. And if anything else comes up to be released, let that go too. But that's a great way uh, to realign and take charge so that the ego mind is not running anything anymore.
I love that. Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, and we use all these techniques to get us there. And I love that. Thank you. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to share before we move to paragraph 2? If not, we'll go on to paragraph 2. And who would like to read paragraph 2? I love this talking about being wholehearted, because that's that is the key to all of it. Let's see. Any hands up? Reader. I'm switching back and forth between computers. Okay.
I'll read.
All right. It says my screen sharing is paused. Can you see it still on the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. If fear and love cannot coexist, and if it is impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive, the only possible whole state that is that of love. There is no difference between love and joy. Therefore, the only possible whole state is the wholly joyous. To heal or to make joyous is therefore the same as to integrate and to make one. That is why it makes no difference to what part or by what part of the sonship the healing is offered. Every part benefits and benefits equally. Only equals are at peace. If we're not, if we're excluding anyone in the sonship, healing is not going to be complete, and it's not going to be whole, and it's not going to be wholly joyful. So until we can accept everything as it truly is, we're not going to be whole, we're not going to be healed, we're not going to be happy, we're not going to be joyful. So, yes, we can have private peace and private happiness and private love and special this and special that. But if it is not part of the whole sonship, then there's fear of something, and then if complete fear cannot exist with complete love, they cannot coexist. So, there's more to this stuff than just saying, yep, I'm happy today. There is a wholeness to this that we have to understand, I think. I think there's more to this than meets the eye. Okay.
I love it. Yeah. And you're right, Mickey. There is more to this than meets the eye, because even though uh, God's will for me is perfect happiness, he tells us why. If you're not feeling wholly joyous, it's because you've reacted with a lack of love to one of God's creations. And so, there's a good reason you're not feeling wholly joyous. the only solution to it is to love, is to remember love and to be love. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, you two just are nailing it, boy. It's beautiful. It just hit me again that all of unhappiness and all of these other things have to do with ego mind. And ego mind can only deal with past and future. It has no concept of what now is. So as soon as I get into now and say, okay, just can I be now? Can I be presence now? Am I now? Just be now. All of a sudden, all that other stuff just drops away because there's no reality to it. It's about past and future. Where's the past and future? It doesn't exist. So all of that unhappiness, the fear, the sorrow, the jealousy, the anguish, the anger, all of that stuff, apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride, all of that stuff is past and future. You tell me where the past and future is. I'll be damned. I don't know. Well, I know where now is. All I have to do is say, just be now. Am I now? And as soon as I do that, all of that other stuff just loses any of its hold and it falls away. And the wholeness that we are is evident because that's the only reality. So it works. And I just thought I'd pass that along. Thank you.
Lynn, can you see my hand?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find my mic. So
Okay.
I can unmute my mic. You go ahead. I'm working on a remote system. I'm like, is very confusing for
Oh
me.
my God, I give you so much. It's
Yeah.
amazing what you do. Amazing to me. And thank you. I love what you shared, Lynn, about wholeheartedness. The wholeness is really the love. So, what is my intention and where am I putting my attention? Intention and attention. Because there's two things. Like, yes, the willingness is the major thing, but then if is our intention to be the small self, the little self, or is our intention to be wholehearted. And I love what Rafi just shared because you cannot be in the present. You cannot be, you're always illusion if you're in your ego because you're in the past or the future. So I just want to say I love everybody's sharing. Mickey's, everybody's. Thank you so much. I am getting ready for an art class. So I probably won't get on again, but I'm listening. Thank you, Lynn.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. And thank you for your patience too. Oh, Karen has her hand up. Yeah, please go ahead, Karen.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? I was listening on the radio and I just love this conversation and I just love this introduction to chapter 5. And the first thing that came to me when you guys were sharing in paragraph 1 was that, well, he tells us in the next section that the Holy Spirit is the spirit of joy. So that really, really resonates with me because when I'm with the Holy Spirit, when I am, as Sharon was saying beautifully, like it's either, it's wholeness is the love and the attention. What am I giving my attention to? What is my intention? Is it the little small identification with the ego, or am I identifying with spirit of the truth of what I am? And then this second paragraph, I love what Mickey shared. There's more to this than meets the eye. And there absolutely is. And I always think of what Ken Wapnick says about it. Ken Wapnick says that God's will for you is perfect happiness does not mean happiness in the dream. God's will for you is perfect happiness is I am his son. And he's not saying anything that the Course doesn't say, because the Course, that's what I love about Ken. Ken is so strictly Course. He uses his own words, but he says exactly what the Course says. The Course says God's will is that you are his son. And all real pleasure comes from doing God's will. And so it is God's will for me is perfect happiness, which is wholeness, which is joyous, and if I'm not feeling happy, if I'm not feeling joyous, I know I've chosen the wrong teacher. And it is a decision. I love everyone's sharing about the decision. It is a decision. And we learned this. Like, I didn't know this for a lot of years, that this was a decision, because went through a major depression in my lifetime. And when you're in that, you really don't really get that it's a decision. You really don't. It's a very it's just an unlearning. This whole idea of decision making is powerful. It's, the power of decision is our one remaining freedom here, because I've talked to many students and beginning in the course, and they really didn't know they could change their mind. They believed their thoughts. And it's when we stop believing these thoughts that are not true, that are not our real thoughts, and recognize the only thoughts that we think with God are the true thoughts. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And well, I'm glad you came in. Yeah, the first thing that came to me that absolutely, literally changed everything for me was the recognition that I have a mind. Which you think, well, yep, of course, you have a mind. No, I did not know I had a mind. I thought I was the result of everything that I thought I was, my culture, my gender, my education, my relationships. I thought that was what I was. I didn't even know that all of those things that I was believing were me were actually choices that I made about what I wanted to be. And I called myself that. I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm a mother. I call myself all of those things. Those were all mindless decisions that were made by something that did not know what I am at all. And so, first, I recognized I have a mind, and that is my kingdom, which one of the lessons told me this. You have a kingdom, you must rule. I have a kingdom, I must rule. Never once thought that I was in charge of what those thoughts were that were going in and out. So for me to first recognize I have a mind, and second, to realize that I can rule that mind, and that I have a choice of what I allow in, what I experience. The experience I'm having is a choice on my part, every single bit of it, because I'm the one who's projecting it. And you don't understand that honestly, or I didn't understand that honestly until I recognized that um, I was perception is has a focus. Lesson 181, perception has a focus. I decide what I want to see. I decide what I want to think. I decide it's all coming from me. And anyway, Karen, yes, please go ahead.
So well put, Lynn. So well put. And, this lesson today that you guys were sharing about, I was meditating on that lesson this morning. And what also came to me, which I love this lesson, because it's, I can choose to change all beliefs that hurt, was coming to me as well, not just thoughts. I can choose to change all beliefs that hurt. And, what you just said, exactly what I was thinking with this lesson, because this lesson basically is reminding us that I am a mind, not a body. That is the process. That is the process. This is a process. It's first to be but said, then repeated. Next, to be accepted as partly true, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth, because you recognize it is a decision. I am doing this to myself. This is not happening to me. This is happening for me. So these are stages of a process of changing our minds. And it's the only way we can do that is recognizing that we are a mind to do that. So perfect what you said. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, yeah. I mean, until I really knew that, I honestly just thought I was a product of this and that, and well, I'm an Aquarius. You know how we are. I I was born in the year of the dragon. You know how that is. Everything I thought about myself was a projection of something that I didn't even know what it was. And so, that understanding of that, knowing that I am the one who's making the choices here. And that's why the idea of being wholehearted, too, as we're reading in this thing, being wholehearted means all. Whole means all. Whole means complete. Whole means not broken. So the wholeness of what I am is not the wholeness of the thinking mind. It really is the wholeness of the heart, and being in the wholehearted state. That's my everything. So anyway, I love this. All right, who would like to read paragraph 3? Knowing again that just start reading, because I'm having to go back and forth and try to figure out who's. At least I figured out now how to tell if somebody's holding their hand, putting their hand up. So because I get a little thing on this computer. But who would like to read paragraph 3? This is a good one, man. This one is like, I think I'll read this. Oh no, who has their hand up? Go ahead.
Karen does.
No, you go ahead, Lynn. You read it.
Well, because this is my birthday lesson 40. I'm blessed as a son of God. I am blessed and I can bless. And I mean, I've always been a blessing person. I went and became uh, uh, ordained or whatever in doing the oneness blessing, the Diksha, and I do the blessing all the time. I'm a blessing person. So this one really this paragraph really hits me right where the heart is. You are being blessed by every beneficent thought of any of your brothers anywhere. Just think about that. I'm being blessed by every loving thought of any of my brothers anywhere. When I have loving thoughts, I'm blessing the world. When you have loving thoughts, you're blessing me. We're this is huge. You should want to bless them in return out of gratitude. And again, what do we do? I look at this, I put on the news. Am I blessing the people I'm seeing on the news? Am I blessing the ICE officers? Am I blessing the people that they're picking up? Am I blessing the politicians am I blessing these people? Or am I cursing these people? That's my choice. Either I'm going to bless or I'm going to curse. And there's no such thing as neutral when it comes to these ego thoughts. So if I'm going to be thinking about them, my goal is to bless them all. And people would say to me, "Why would you bless these people? They're doing terrible things." Because they need a blessing. They're the ones in the most pain. I can't even imagine what horrible pain these people are going through mentally, emotionally, psychically, because of the things that they are doing that they know are harmful and not loving. My God, bless you, bless you, bless you. So you need not know them individually or they you. The light is so strong that it radiates throughout the sonship and returns thanks to the Father for radiating his joy upon it. Only God's holy children are worthy channels of his beautiful joy, because only they are beautiful enough to hold it by sharing it. It is impossible for a child of God to love his neighbor except as himself. That is why the healer's prayer is, Let me know this brother as I know myself. You see what he's saying? If I bless them, I bless myself. I bless the world, I bless myself. If I curse him, guess what? It's all the same. It's coming back at me. Mickey, please go ahead.
Lynn, you said such a beautiful thing before that I had to put my hand up just to tell you how beautiful it was. You know, why would you bless those people? Because they're the ones that need it. Why would you bless someone who you think has everything? Why would you bless someone who you think agrees with everything you say? Why would you bless someone, who you think already has blessings? No, you bless the people who need it. That rang a huge bell in my head, and I just had to acknowledge it because it's it's so the truth. So I just wanted to commend you for that. Thanks.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you so much, Mickey. Yeah, well, I'm telling you what, it takes something to do that. But if you can do that, just pick any. Jesus tells us there's lessons. You know who you want to look at. Look at them. Pick a person, you know who it is already, and see the light in them. Look for the love in them. Don't look at their behavior, don't look at their words. Look at who they really are. And as we do that, these barriers just fall. We're not going to heal the world by cursing our brothers. We're only going to heal the world by loving our brothers. Let me know this brother as I know myself. Karen, please go ahead.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Mickey. And also, what comes to me is from lesson 137, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. So this is the miracle. This is the miracle that you're talking about, because we're changing our mind from cursing to blessing. That is the change of mind. So in this lesson, he says that today we ask that only truth will occupy our minds, that thoughts of healing will this day go forth from what is healed to what must yet be healed, aware that they will both occur as one. We will remember as the hour strikes, our function is to let our minds be healed, that we may carry healing to the world, exchanging curse for blessing, pain for joy, and separation for the peace of God. Is not a minute of the hour worth a giving to receive a gift like this? So I just had to share that. But what I wanted to share initially was, oh my God, I had such a beautiful experience yesterday at physical therapy. And like Glenn, you talk about look for the helpers. There's so many good people out there that want to help. And people in the profession of helping, nurses, paramedics, physical therapists. I have an amazing physical therapist, and yesterday she introduced me to tapping, which I knew about, and actually Regis had introduced me to it a while ago, but I just wasn't ready for it. And now I'm ready for it. And so this is part of the process with everything, when we're ready, when the student is ready, that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So anyway, long story short, she was teaching me the tapping, and then she said, each time you tap, because you go from one, you start from and you in your hand, then you go to your face, then you go to your chest. So all these different spaces, she said, this is what I want you to say. Whatever emotion I have, I accept it lovingly, wholly, and kindly. And you can fill in the blank if you don't want to say emotion. Whatever pain I have, I accept it lovingly, wholly, and kindly. This is what she had me say to myself, not out loud. each time I tapped, and I will tell you, it was an amazing experience, and it released so much of the pain I was experiencing and the stress I was experiencing, because I'm holding so much stress in my spine from not being able to move the spine like I normally would. And it's caused a lot of difficulties, not to mention a triple pelvic prolapse that I didn't want to even admit that I had because I was so embarrassed by it. But now I'm not embarrassed to say it anymore. It's part of what happened. This is the trauma that happened to my body. And this is the healing that I'm going through. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It happened. It's happening, and I'm getting help for it, and I'm getting amazing help for it. So, I mean, the love that she extended to me was absolutely, I tell you, it was just the blessing. The blessing is what I'm talking about here. What you just shared is the blessing that I received yesterday from this amazing physical therapist. Thanks.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, Karen. And what the thing that's so beautiful about that, all right, they were blessed by you too. You were blessing them, they were blessing you. You wonder, well, what is this for? Why do I have to go through all this? Because otherwise you would never see those people. That you would have no idea who they were. They're going through their life, they're looking for answers. And when you come and bring your love, uh that that helps them. It brings them blessings. So, yeah, as much as, well, it's inconvenient to be in pain, definitely inconvenient to have your body not working the way you like it to. But but what inconvenience would you go through to save a soul, to bring a person, a brother, the joy of their life? I mean, I'm not saying you should sacrifice for that. I'm just saying, that's the way the world is. It puts us in these positions where we are there to bless. And I've been many of those blessing places, believe me, too. And I've recognized it every single time. When I was arrested and had to go to jail, I was blessing. When I was, had my accidents, I going to the emergency room, going through surgery, I was blessing, blessing, blessing. And every single one of those people, every place I went, I took the the love, and I would not trade that for anything. I swear to God, I would not trade that for anything, because who cares? I lost my eye. Who cares? I stumble around like a drunk now. Who cares? In any of these things, the love is the only thing that makes any sense and has any meaning. Anyway, Mickey, go ahead.
So I can't remember as far back as what Lynn said before what Karen said, because I have no memory retention at all. But you both were, and thank God for physical therapists. Good Lord, Karen. Thank you for reminding me, because I have a brilliant one, and she has really, raised the quality of my life. And we're talking about the blessings that we give to all these other people, but the person that needs our blessing the most is ourselves. We spend all this time thinking about, extending to others, and who needs a blessing, and who might not deserve it, or whatever. But we never think about, I need to bless myself first, because how much can I give to others if I'm not feeling the blessing myself? So I just wanted to put that out there. Thanks.
Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate that so much. And yeah, Karen, please go ahead.
Exactly, Mickey. My one responsibility is to accept the atonement for myself. That is blessing myself, healing my mind through forgiveness. And I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what you shared, Lynn, because you're absolutely correct. I was a blessing and she was a blessing. And there are no accidents. We are in the perfect place at the perfect time always. And she said to me, it was so coincidental that she has a patient that he had spine surgery on his neck, spine surgery, cervical spine surgery. And he was having a very difficult time. And she introduced him to this surgeon who was able to see another way, which is what we're talking about here. Like, I am willing to see another way. This is the miracle. Help me to see another way. She said to me, this woman is such a brilliant mind where she's always above the battleground and sees outside the box. She said, there is always another way. She said, there is always another answer. She said, you're not stuck with this, what you're going through. Because I'm going through a lot with what my spine is not good. It's worse now than it was before the surgery in so many levels. She said, this doctor helped this guy. He saw outside the box. And she said, I want you to see him. That was a godsend. She sent me this doctor, which I'm going to make an appointment with. It was a Friday. It was too late to call by the time I got home. But I mean, this is the miracles that are happening when we just allow ourselves to be honest and open and not hide anything, or these dark secrets. I mean, what are these secrets? We think they're secrets. And what are we ashamed of? This body is nothing. This body is going to go through shit. This body, like Lynn, like for you to say, who cares I lost my, because the eye is not who you are. The spine is not who I am. This body is not who I am. But while we're here in time, this is our vehicle to get through. So it's going to be like a car. It's a vehicle. We need to repair it. We change the oil. We put on new tires every now and then. We get spark plugs every now and then, right? So yeah, you fix it. You fix what needs to be fixed so it can operate properly. And so, but with love, with love. And so it's all love. And I'm just so grateful because now I'm seeing another way, that there is another way to see this, not in this stuck place where now I'm stuck. Now I got to get more surgery. Now I got to do this. No, I don't. There's another way to see this. Thank you.
There we go. Somewhere, there's my microphone somewhere. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Karen. Yeah, the same thing. It's like, we're just all here to learn that we're not here, and that we're just dreaming a dream. But while we're experiencing the dream, uh, we can use it to help us wake up to our reality. And if our reality is love, if our reality is peace, whatever it is that Jesus tells us that we are, the Christ being, then the dream we can use to remind ourselves that we are that, and that there is nothing different between us. No difference between us. That's so important. To recognize. And I think I was telling the story about my son's mother-in-law who came over here the other night, and this woman is like a Tasmanian devil on steroids. I mean, she's like, I never saw a person act like that unless they were like high on meth or something, but she was not at all. This is just how she is. This woman is just, uh, I had to take a nap. Even the babies had to take a nap after she left because she was just so, uh, so excited. That's a good word for it, excited. And she has in a difficult, uh, extremely different political point of view than I do. Why do I have a political point of view? I'm not a body. What the hell am I doing here? But but that's for me to look at and figure out. But she was saying a lot of things that for me, Lynn, the personality, if someone I didn't care about was saying these things to me, I would have been very unhappy and probably said some mean things to them. All right. But I did care about this person. I don't want to have uh, a, a, uh, a a grievance with them in any way at all. I want to love them. I recognize I just want to love her. So, I just, and I looked at all that stuff and I thought, this is all these things that she's saying are just the results of her conditioning. What she's been told is true, just like me. All the things I'm saying are things that are a result of my conditioning and what I was told was true. And if you look at them, there in reality, there is no difference. It's all a part of the dream. So so I really, thought about it. We went out and had went and got food and came and, sat and ate and just had a really lovely time together. And my son said later, what, you should see her if she's drinking. She's like this now. You should see her if she's drinking. But the thing that was so beautiful about it was that um I looked at her and I looked at all this stuff that my mind was telling me, oh man, this can't stand. You can't agree with this. And I just recognized these are all opinions and they have nothing to do with reality. And this person is probably the most innocent person I've ever seen in my life. And when I said it, I said, I think she's just, just so beautifully innocent. Both my son and my daughter are like, oh, no, 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 you don't know. I'm like, yeah, yeah, you could tell. She's just so innocent. She's like a newborn baby. She has no thought about anything other than just what's right in front of her, just like everybody else that I see. And that was pretty cool. It was very good for me to recognize that. And now I'm real excited about when she comes over again because I will never I thought about, oh, I could talk to her about this and I could explain to her how this worked and why this thing happened. And I'm like, that's not my business to try to change her mind about anything. My business is to change my mind about the world. And so I'm happy that that all occurred the way it did. All right. Do we have any more on the introduction before I move on? I'm sorry, I'm moving things around, but trying to stay connected in the right place. Yeah, Karen, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. And you just hit it on the nail when you said, I'm not here to change her mind. I'm here to change my own mind. And it always reminds me what Jesus in the Course says that, I will love you and honor you and maintain complete respect for what you made, but I will not uphold it unless it's true. So that's okay. Whatever your decision-making mind has to learn by decision making. We are going to make mistakes. That's how we learn, but we have to learn through those decisions and making those mistakes. So he will never ever change our mind or try to change our mind, which is exactly what you did. And that's exactly what we do. That is the key. We change our mind. And when our mind changes, the world changes. Your whole perception changed because you stopped trying to fix her. You didn't want to fix her. And you knew that the only thing you had to fix was your perception. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, and it was fun. It was really fun. It made me feel really good. So Iris, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone. I really just don't have much to say except for I really find this conversation very interesting. It's so amazing. It's so true. The like I hear sometimes Dove mention this sentence, and it says never complain and never explain. I really love that. I try to remember it, and it really does help me a lot. When never explain, never complain, and never explain. And I just find it very interesting, especially with like when there are like many people involved. Because yes, yesterday and the day before I was at an event from work, like a work event, and I had to like stand by the registration desk and help people with their registration and their badges. And like at one point, all the printers broke down, like all of them. And then there were people like queuing, quote. And like, so while I was waiting for someone to come to fix those printers, which really would just take like a minute or two. It was just something to do with like the ribbon. There was somebody there that was saying like, oh, like they were just in a, I could tell like they were not feeling right, you know. And they said like we were not allowed to let people in without the badge, without the name badge, for quote security reasons, quote. And I don't know from where it came, and I was like, quote, assertive for once in my life, you know. I don't know where that came from. And I just said to that person, I just said, if you wouldn't mind waiting, it won't take too long. And just because of security reasons, you know, we can't let people in without the name badge, and you know, this thing will be resolved really quickly. So if you wouldn't just please, you know, if you wouldn't mind just waiting there. And it was just, there was no emotion there. And normally I would have gotten afraid, and I was not afraid. I just stated a fact. And then like somebody came, and my colleague came, and he fixed the printers, and everything was fine. And so I think like the right response comes to us in like the moment. It somehow just does. And I think it's also this voice, like God's voice speaks to us all through the day. And like to trust our intuition, like really just to hear that voice, like to learn to trust our intuition is very important, especially like I'm reminding myself it's very important. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Thank you so much, Iris. And oh my gosh, yeah. Learning to trust your intuition. You know, on Sundays, Zita Schmidt and I are reading this book from Corinne Zupko. Let me go and get this. It's online, you get it free online, but we're reading it, and it is, I'm going to put it up here in the screen so you can see it. The Clairs for course students. Enhance your guidance as a student of A Course in Miracles through clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairsentience. And it's the whole book is about how A Course in Miracles not only supports these clairs, actually the course itself came through a clairaudient situation with Helen Schuckman. You know, she heard a voice, and you know she had visions, and you know, so increasing your intuition is actually um, increasing your uh, uh, increasing your clairs, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. So you guys are, if you're interested, that's on Sundays at, is it 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. Eastern time? And it's on the schedule. And Zita and I are reading that book. I love that. Yeah, okay. And yeah, we're putting it on YouTube, Karen. So so we'll have our reading of that book and discussion. And Zita herself is, oh my goodness, she is such a mystic. She's very mystical. I mean, she's an amazing lady. She does these beautiful meditations. Um, it just she's a very, very cool person. So yeah, Sharon, go ahead.
What's it underneath? Like, do you put the Claire's down, or because I love Zeta too. I used to see her in here and Awaken Together.
On our YouTube channel?
Yeah, what do you have it under? Like just ACIM Gather Claire's, or
I, I'll get the link and send it to you. Let
yeah,
me
well,
see.
if you remember, because I have everything, but there's so much that I'm doing sometimes that I didn't, like it is really like the kind of thing that Claire's helping you where you might have stuck energy. That's basically the way I saw it.
Right,
And
she goes through the chakras and
right, it's all the
it,
chakras. Yeah.
yeah, so it's very interesting, and I love Corinne. She's really a very very good teacher, a very good
She's a very humble, humble, humble person too. She's just, I took a class last year with her. She's just, and she has this genuine way of like, she understands. She's a psychologist, a professor actually, so she just has a lot of understanding of the mind. So that I can't make it this Sunday, but I'm going to, the next two Sundays I can't, but I'm going to get it on, I want to listen to it on there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and I'm just looking because Odsie's the one who does uh the playlists. And so yeah, it's under the Claire's for Course Students, Zeta Schmidt and Lynn Johnson. So there's three of them on the YouTube channel right now. So so you can just go there and I guess I'll put the book cover on there so people will know that's what we're reading. Anyway,
She
so we've
doesn't
been
come to our groups at all. Like she didn't. I guess she just doesn't need that. I don't know
no
because I
Z.
know.
Are you talking
Okay,
about Z or
no Zeta
oh Zeta? Yeah, no, she yeah she doesn't. She's
by
not.
herself with
Oh
spirit.
yeah, she's working and she's doing her stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
think it's
she's
so wonderful that you're doing this with her, Lynn. It's so so wonderful.
yeah.
Anyway, I guess you're going to close now because it's time.
Yeah, so thank you everybody who's been with us. The book is called Claire's for Course Students. And Linda, okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out the YouTube real quick. Let's see. Am I not the host? Okay, it must be the host must be over on this one.